It's another edition of the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com for the second day of the Breeders' Cup card and the second half of that card. Tom Leach along with Jim Goodman as we take a look first at the 8th race on Saturday's Breeders' Cup Day card at Keeneland. It's the Breeders' Cup Mile on the turf for 3-year-olds and up, and always a difficult challenge, Jim, because you've got the Europeans coming in and you've got some intriguing U.S. horses. Where did you land here in the mile?
Yeah, when I went to the Daily Racing Forum handicapping seminar on Tuesday night, they said sometimes we're just not going to have an opinion, and we're going to tell you we don't. So I'm going to couch this with I don't have a great opinion on this race. I think the horses that we've got, Grand Arch was impressive here winning the Shadwell. I don't know how good our horses are because these Europeans usually come over and take this race. So I wound up going with the Europeans. Make Believe, Andre Fabre, the horse who's probably going to be the favorite. I went ahead and put in, done a little wrong and won a Group 1 at Longchamp on Arc Day, the Prix de la Forêt, I guess. And, I'd be lying if I said I knew anything about these horses. I just go on their reputation and when they run against horses that I've been impressed with here, at Keeneland, like Tepin. Tepin's 12-1 here, and she won the First Lady by 7 lengths. And I know she's tackling the boys here, but that performance that day, to go back and watch that, she could run with anybody in the world that day. So she likes the track. She loved the soft turf that day. So I think Tepin has a shot. Monday Elise, the 4, won the Woodbine Mile in their first North American start and got a 104 buyer. So I think he's got a shot. The other horse that has impressed everybody who's seen him since he's been here is another horse coming out of the Shadwell, the Tourist for Belmont. And Tourist is 15-1, and everybody that watches him work says he's really getting good at the right time, and that's typical of a Belmont horse. And I think Tourist has a shot to run really big here. But I like Tepin. I like obviously is a very impressive, consistent horse. So the U.S. horses are all well matched. I'm kind of going to go with the hype here and take the Europeans on top. Would I be shocked if one of the nice Americans won this race? I would not. So I would spread in the pick 3s and pick 4s, and this is the start of the late pick 4.
I'm kind of feeling the same way you are. I like Tepin and Tourist both a lot, but not enough to just take a stand with only those two. I ended up picking Impassable for the win. Really liked how she improved last time and now makes the second start off the layoff, and she's got 3 wins at a mile. So the 5, Impassable for me, but Make Believe I'll have on the ticket, and Tepin and Tourist. And I'd be perfectly fine to stand with those 4 in any multi-race wagers. And, I was really, really impressed with Tepin, but it's asking a lot, so I'm going to not – when she ran that day, I thought I might be ready to take a big stand with her, but ultimately didn't. But I think she's got a big shot. Misha Wish is trained really well also for a big price. If you want to go even deeper, Esoterique, the 9. But I'm fine with those 4, and Impassable is going to be my pick. On to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Could be our Derby favorite coming out of here at a mile and the 16th for 2-year-olds. I picked Brody's Cause here. Really impressive in the Claiborne Breeders' Futurity on Fall Stars weekend. And that was his first race around 2 turns, so he could even improve in the second time around 2 turns. Going to have to get through traffic, and so that's a concern. But I think Nyquist, drawn way outside, is vulnerable. Exaggerator I like a lot here, the 9. And Conquest Big E at a big price. A really impressive winner in opening weekend in a maiden race. But before that, had lost in a maiden race barely to Brody's Cause. So I think Conquest Big E is a live big price horse. So the 7, the 1, and the 9, I think I could use those 3 and be happy. If I go deeper, I'd probably throw in Nyquist. Cocked and Loaded and Unbridled Outlaw would be others I might look at. But Brody's Cause is going to be my pick, and I might just do a 3-way exacta box with him, Exaggerator, and Conquest Big E. How about you?
Well, I agree with you on 2 out of 3. I like Brody's Cause. He was actually my second pick. Very impressive winning the Futurity here on Fall Stars weekend. Loves the track, training well. Dale Romans has him going the right direction. Everything is pointing for a big effort from Brody's Cause. Exaggerator, I really liked Sormo's colt. Ran second to Brody in the Futurity. So, they are equal in stature to me. And Exaggerator, came in here as actually the favorite in the Breeders' Futurity, so got beat by a length. So I think those two with a race over the track helps a lot as a 2-year-old. But my pick is going to be Greenpoint Crusader, the 3-horse. On Belmont's sloppy track last time out with Champagne, that was an extremely impressive win. Don't know if it's a sloppy track or if he's just that good right now, but he looks the part. He had a great work here on October 23rd. Walking in the paddock the other day, he looked great. And if on looks alone, I would pick him. But I think that effort in the Champagne points him out as a nobody else has anything close to a 94 buyer in here. So if that was a true speed figure and he transfers that to, it's not going to be a muddy track here or a sloppy track. It may be just a touch off, but by Saturday I don't think it will be. I think it's going to be a fast track. Greenpoint Crusader is my pick in the juvenile, but I would use the horses you like. Conquest Big E at 30-1. I think has got a shot. Brody's Cause Exaggerator and Nyquist. I don't like the 13 hole with him, so I'm going to toss him and think he's not gonna like Kentucky as well as he did in California.
Let's move on to the Breeders' Cup Turf, and this is 1.5 miles around the Keeneland lawn. You've got Golden Horn, the ARC winner, trying to be the first ARC winner to come on and win a Breeders' Cup race also. Saki got the closest, and he tried the Classic, so Golden Horn trying to do it in the turf. Biggest favorite on the morning line on the Breeders' Cup Day cards, who do you like?
Yeah, I hate to go with the chalk, but I can't find anybody who doesn't like him. A couple people saying that they may be going to the well one time too many. This is a 4th race without a real break, and coming from France on October 4th to here on October 31st, not really the kind of gap they're looking for, but that's exactly the gap that they had between the last couple races. So they don't ship him for fun, and Golden Horn looks like he's obviously the real deal, and it would be a nice ARC Breeders' Cup double for him, and I think there's probably a good chance he's going to be there at 3-5 or 4-5. I think the Pizza Man, the 10 horse, is getting a lot better. The Shadwell, I don't think he was going to win that race at a mile, but he came really close, and he must have been at least 15 lengths out of it. And that race over this racetrack set him up perfectly for this one. I don't know if they're happy about Golden Horn being in here, because the Pizza Man would be one of the favorites if he wasn't. But if he's 15-1, it's a nice price for him. Big Blue Kitten always finishes. Chad Brown has this horse ready every time, and I would have to put Big Blue Kitten in the mix as well, the 7. But Golden Horn is the obvious pick. I would use the Pizza Man, Big Blue Kitten, with maybe some long shots to try to come underneath him.
I'm going to try to beat Golden Horn because of the ARC was the main goal, and this is maybe an afterthought. So I'm going to try to beat him. Maybe that we won't like the turf course as much. Just looking for reasons to beat the favorite, really. And I'm going to try Found. He was within a length of the favorite on soft ground in September, and he's going to be really overlooked, and he's the only other Euro in the field, and they usually tend to dominate this race. So I'm going to try Found. The ones you mentioned, I would use certainly the favorite plus the Pizza Man, Big Blue Kitten. Twilight Eclipse is a horse I liked last time because of the switch to Rosario. I think he's a great fit for this horse who maybe has a little trouble finishing, and he got all kinds of traffic. So I'm going to give him another shot at a big price. And another big price I might throw in the bottom of a try is the Big Hoss, who's a 4-year-old in top form and kind of just the home team here taking a shot. But Found is going to be my pick in the Breeders' Cup Turf. Brings us to the Breeders' Cup Classic. Got the Triple Crown winner, American Pharoah, the great mare Beholder, a strong group of older horses, a European Invader and Glen Eagles. How do you see the Classic, Jim?
Well, I'm going to make a lot of people mad here because I'm not going to pick American Pharoah and I'm not going to pick Beholder. I'm going to take Honor Code, and I would love to see a hotter pace in here. I would love to see somebody that has legitimate gate speed and could challenge American Pharoah just like he was challenged in the Travers and softened up for Keen Ice. I'm not certain that's going to happen here, but I think one of these horses is going to run with Pharoah, and he's not going to get that easy a lead. I don't think that Kieran will really want Rosario to take out after him like Lizcano did in the Travers. So I don't think Frosted is going to be the one that kills American Pharoah, but I think another horse will soften him up. If American Pharoah gets an easy lead, he's going to win the race, and a lot of people are pulling for him, as I am with my heart, because no horse has ever done it. No horse has ever won the Triple Crown plus the Breeders' Cup Classic, and it would be something that we probably won't see in our lifetime again. So I'm just looking forward to that charge down the stretch. I have a feeling that Honor Code is going to be way out of it, and there's going to be a little hotter pace than people think, and he's going to run American Pharoah and Beholder down at the wire. Beholder would not be a shock. She's certainly good enough to win this. She's good enough to beat any horse in the world on her best day, and I think she's going to challenge American Pharoah. I'm not sure she's good enough to get by him, and I think that they both might be softened up just a little bit by the test, and Honor Code comes flying down the stretch and beats them by neck.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. That's who I picked as well. I think this may play out a little like the Travers with American Pharoah turning back all the challenges and then trying to hang on at the end. I think he finishes first or second, and I'm going to pick Honor Code to run him down. I saw a comment from Shug McGahee this week, and a ton of respect for him, and he said this horse has never been training better. He's got a 113 buyer, and that's the second best two-turn buyer in the field. And with AP Indy as his sire, I think a mile and a quarter doesn't concern me, and I thought it was a great move by Shug to run him in a mile and then sharpen him up for now his first mile and a quarter test. So I think Shug McGahee's great at pointing horses for these Breeders' Cup races, so I'm going Honor Code as well. And I think Pharoah's runs second, but I'm going to have those two certainly in the top probably of a trifecta ticket. I think those two I'll use those two. It's 9-4 with 9-4 with all, and 9-4 with all with 9-4 and a trifecta maybe, because I think those two finish in the top three. I think Beholder's a little vulnerable from the 10 hole. She didn't beat much in the race that she won against the boys, but such class. But you look at the rest of her speed figures, and she doesn't run anywhere close to that 114. But Zenyatta was a horse that could always raise her game when asked. So got to have a lot of respect for Beholder for that reason. I thought Frosted's last race was real impressive coming off the Travers, so I might throw him in a ticket. If I did another one, I might add Glen Eagles, but it's Honor Code or American Pharoah, and I'm picking Honor Code in the Classic. Best of luck with your Breeders' Cup wagers. It's kind of a Christmas time for horse players, and if you are playing this weekend through Keeneland Select or on track at Keeneland, we wish you the best of luck. Make one of those big scores that they'll be talking about next year at the Breeders' Cup. For Jim Goodman, I'm Tom Leach. This is the In the Money Podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.